Thought.
La 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 la.
All
You
right,
hear?
and we're
Yep.
live. We're live. So make sure.
Hi.
Hello, 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 hello. Sunday afternoon. It's 6:12, and I want to apologize, but guess what? My guest is a special woman, and she was on the road. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little late myself. We should have met for 10 minutes before the start, but it's all good. We're here, and it's the Michael App Show, and it's going to be a show. Oh, I'm giving you the signature laugh as I get in. I want to welcome, yay, Ricky Street. Good to see you. I see that Mama's handprint was waiting. 2 million in the house. It's an amazing Sunday afternoon, and it's going to get even better because with me this afternoon is Karlene Temple Anderson. She's an amazing woman, and listen, we go way back. I'd
Way
say
back.
we're in Jamaican terms, we'd say from Saltfish and Shingle House. Oh my goodness, this is a radical girl. I've known her for quite a while now. Known her since the time when I was a little girl going to church camp. Right, but she has blossomed into a wonderful young lady, and her greatest passion is to assist and support individuals to think outside of the box. And I'm telling you, you'll get some ideas outside of the box this afternoon because this is the way this young lady thinks. She's self motivated, optimistic, and focused on spiritual growth and living her divine purpose. She has written a book. She didn't say anything much about it. I'm gonna quiz her a little bit on it, but overall, she just facilitates people, and she's all about growth and staying focused. She has a master's degree in communications, and she has a bachelor's degree in education. All right, so this is not a pia pia as we just say in Jamaica. Oh my goodness! Welcome, Chantel Phillips. Welcome, Doreen Humby. Mike Laugh Show, and we're kicking off with Karlene Temple Anderson. Karlene, listen, I
Hi.
like the topic for this evening, because you know what I like the topic this evening. I fit in all the categories. I've been
Yes, you
there,
do.
done that, been there, done that. So I know how it is to be single. I know how it is to be married. I know how it is to be divorced. Welcome, Taya's Kitchen. It's good to have you. All right, I'm giving our guests a chance to breathe. Did you catch your birthday, Caroline?
I have. I have. I have. I have. I have. I have. I have.
Okay, what kind of Sunday did you have? How was your day today?
It was a good one. I had a nice little family one. We went away for the weekend with my
Okay,
mom and my sister and our kids. So it was
okay.
a very nice family
Nice
retreat, if you
rested
want to call it
weekend.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
When you have kids, not all the time it's rested, but yes.
Oh my goodness! But how old are your kids now, Carl? I've not. It's been a long
I
time since I
know.
last saw you. This became
I
this
kid
past
you
year.
not.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness!
I was blessed. In my marriage, I was blessed with a 1 year old, and so now she's actually 20.
Uh huh.
And I have two others in the marriage, 8 and
Okay.
10. Eight
Okay.
and 10, yes.
Okay. So yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
been so
A
long
late
since it
bloomer.
was.
I call my a very late bloomer.
Well, you know something.
Career first, do all the career thing, and then did the baby thing. And here we are.
Here we are.
Here we
All
are.
right, want to welcome Mama's Handprint again. Good to see you. Welcome, Chantel Phillips. Did I say that? Because, sometimes uh, I don't know. Sometimes I see and sometimes I don't see. Welcome, everybody in the chat. I thank you so much for coming. And I want it to be an interactive chat. We're just going to talk. I get
Yes.
the feeling that there's somebody in the chat fits one of these categories. So, oh, teacher piece, just so good to have you. Thank you so very much for sharing me out. I saw that too. Thank you so much. All right, no, so I know that everybody in the chat fits in one of these categories. You're either single, you're either married, divorced. I don't think there's any other category that could exclude anybody. So we're going to talk tonight. I kind of just posed the question, where is the grass greener? And I
Uh,
don't know, baby. I want the feedback tonight. I'm going to lean a lot on Carlene. Carlene,
Where's the grass greener? Oh
Where is
wow.
the grass greener?
Wait, one way set me up, but now I have to give you my laugh. They're all green grass, depending on how you're looking at it and who is looking at it and what's happening at any given day. Literally, I've learned, and it's a struggle to learn that if you don't water the grass won't be green. It's all left
Okay,
up to you. That's just it. The
that's just it.
grass is green if you water it.
All right, so listen, no, all the single ladies, put your hands up. Listen, the grass is green. It doesn't matter where you are. That grass just needs to be watered.
Yeah. And
Oh
also
my.
remember that like all everything in life, there are seasons. So whether
Mhm.
you're divorced, whether you're married or you're single, we all have our seasons.
Oh yes, we
Don't
are
let
the seasons.
nobody tell you that it's nice and pretty and crunchy and sweet in any area. Because there are times I think Mike and I were talking, and I was like, boy, sometimes I miss being single. So I'm actually married. And I'm like,
Right,
sometimes I really miss being single. You know, that single time when you just have nothing to do but you
right.
literally don't have to cook because you really don't have to.
No, because I'm not
Uh,
gonna lie to you, Carlene.
yeah.
I It's like the other day I sat back and I said to myself, well, first of all, since I have been here, I've not baked a fruit cake. I'm kind of saying to myself, do I still remember how to make a fruit cake? No,
Mm,
when I was a married woman, I mean, I was going to probably be entertaining a bunch of guests. I was probably going to make
mm,
cake for maybe even family members. Everybody was looking for the cake.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so
Yes.
that's it's just different things happening in your life at different times and for different reasons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
yeah.
also how very how very excited I probably was. Maybe at this time I would have been removing those curtains, putting up some more curtains. I'm not so sure it was just Christmas, but I think it kind of was kind of like the expectation as the wife in the house to kind of
Yeah.
take the thing
Yeah.
apart and and put things a little different. You're freshening up because you're trying to keep the whole home environment really fresh and pretty, and maybe if your husband is going to bring some family over too, you just want everything to look good so that there is a little approval there, not so.
It's a lot of work. It just feels like work.
It
And
does
and,
feel
and
like
as I said, whether you're single. So let's break it down a bit, Mikey.
hmm
Let's talk single.
it's toxic.
Let's talk single. So when I was single,
Uh-huh.
I used to enjoy just going out. You just want to go out and you're having your fun. And at that time, you don't say you're going to restrict to one person. You're dating. We're dating. So we
hmm
can actually go out with more than one person. So when one person starts annoying you or going in a different direction, you're like, hey, I don't need to
Okay.
stick with you. See you later. So there was no commitment to make this last and to make it work. You're single, and that's the difference with it. So you get to now look and say, But it, or Jamaican saying sometimes you pick and you pick and you pick and you pick until you pick.
I'm not saying it.
So again, but that's the thing with being single. You have the option to you're open to a lot of ideas. You're open to a variety of different people coming into your space over a period of time, and you have the opportunity to say yes, no, maybe so. So
Yes,
that's the thing with being single.
single. You have choices.
You
You
have
have
your choices,
options.
and you don't
Yes.
have the commitment of I need to lock here or I
Yeah.
need to make this, and then you don't have the commitment to say I need to make this work.
You're not
When
on
you're
a lockdown.
single, you don't even have to say I need to make. So if it feels a way for you, you're like, I don't even need to make this work. I don't need to try any harder more than okay.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
nice knowing you. It's good to have you in my space, but then I want you this way in my space and not this way. So you
You
kind
drop
of
him.
make your decisions.
There you go. You drop him in the friend zone.
Exactly. And then they're always there. And then throughout the process, so that's one thing. The other thing is you realize that when you're single and people upset you, you don't ever get upset with them too long.
No, because
It's
you
like
don't
nice.
need to.
Exactly.
You don't
You don't
need
have
to.
them up. The experiences happen and you say whatever you want to say about it, and then you move on, and that's it. And that's about it. And you're like, okay, that's nice and all that stuff. But so that's the part with being single that we have to remember. And I miss that. I miss the sometimes, because at that time, as I said, also you get up and you're like, all I really want to do right now is just lie down in my bed. I don't want to get up and make no
You go.
breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't have to,
You don't have a
because
care
I'm
in the
doing it for
world.
me. Yeah, yeah. And then when you're single too and you're working, if you decide that work, you're doing the career thing, then
Mm-hmm.
you work late. You don't have to be thinking who is waiting for you at home,
Warm.
who you need to take care of, or who you need to consider. And even if you're single and dating and somebody said, but I said, yeah, but I told you that I was going to be busy right now. It's like, even the feeling, you don't ever feel that committed to feel bad when you
No,
say
no, no. You don't
certain
have to. You
things
don't
when
have to.
you're
You don't
single
have
with someone. You're already living the
to.
single life. You don't feel bad to say, but I told you I wasn't going to be available tonight.
Right.
Or you can say, remember I told you tonight is not your night.
You understand?
Basically, no, we're not doing you today.
Tonight.
No, not tonight. And then, so it's a different feeling that you come up, the thought and how you look at it. How you literally look at it is just different. And it's a level of freedom.
It's a little freedom.
However,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you're single, but then on the other side, you have the desire to be settled down and
Of
to get
course.
into a relationship.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think that's where the conflict comes in, for whether the grass is greener for single people.
Right.
Because at some point you're like, all right, I might want to have a child or two. And when you start thinking that way, you also start thinking, maybe I should be married to have the child. Maybe not. Maybe I should. But once you start thinking children, whether you're married or not, you
Uh-huh.
are now moving to another level with the individual. So you can't now continue just saying, I am single.
No,
Because once you have a child, you're really no longer single. You actually have no attachment,
it's
because the
complicated.
father is no the father is no a part of the conversation,
It's
and it's not a
complicated.
part where you can say, I don't feel like dealing with you right now all the time. You're going to have to deal with a person, because now you have to balance. What were people in the chat saying? What do you think about that? And I think that's where the conflict comes in for us, as single. We now want to get to that other place where we want to have children, we want to have family.
Right.
We no longer want to be single. We like being single because there's good things about the single. And I tell people, in everything in life, there are good and it's not bad. There are pros and cons.
Cons.
There
Yeah.
are benefits and there are consequences. So I
Yes.
think that's the part with being single, when you start thinking about settling down and what that looks like for you. And that's when you start now wondering and you start feeling like, how I can't find somebody yet, how I can't get a chance to just
Right.
be with somebody, because sometimes you get lonely.
Right. Carlene, I also do
Mhm.
think that single is different at different times. Because I think
Ah,
single before you get married is different from single after you get married. Would you think?
oh, you're the expert. Talk to me about the single after marriage.
Right.
I
Because
know the single before. I'm still married. I haven't
you
done
don't do the
divorce
single after. Right.
yet. Yeah,
Right. But see, all right. So maybe I can talk from that perspective
yeah.
because I was single and I could identify with everything that you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But having been married and I am now single, it poses a different. It's like it puts me in a whole different category, because for one thing,
Mm-hmm.
I name the name of the Lord. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like certain situations now will
Mhm.
not work for me.
Right. Right.
Um, it's like I I don't know how to operate outside of the umbrella of being married with certain things.
Oh.
So it puts single at that free stage. It's just such a different stage, and then suddenly, I don't know if your options. I don't know what if your options dwindle a little bit, but it just doesn't seem as though there are so many options when you get to this point because especially if you have advanced in age, then you realize that maybe the guys who are your age, it becomes so much more complicated now because if they are single, they might have been coming out of like a married situation. Maybe they have two kids, you have two kids. It's single at this point, just really.
It sounds scary. It sounds scary. It
Oh
sounds
yes.
scary.
Oh, it's a different thing. It's a different thing.
So my question to you then, Mikey,
Mhm.
is but you see, I think yours is a little more complicated as well because of your belief system,
Right.
your principles that your guiding principles, which is
Right.
biblical. I think that also adds another layer
Oh yes.
to you being single.
Oh
Because I
yes.
think another woman who would not have had been in the church before would have a different perspective on the whole matter. So
Of
again,
course.
that is true. But yeah, but you that's interesting, you know.
It
How
is.
do how do you deal with that though? How do you manage
Listen,
that?
man, I've never seen anything as difficult as this period of my life. I've never seen anything as difficult. Because here's something that I realize. I don't know if it's my socialization. I noticed that it would seem as though like it's almost like a norm when like if a guy says I'm coming to visit you, they think that it's just fine for them to ask if they could visit you, and they just ask if they could stay over.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
not the church girl.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's that, and it just and I mean I've listened to people in my circles, and it just seems like that's okay. No, for me, no. It's like that. It's like that would have been at a different. You would have had to have a relationship that had escalated to a point where, to me, being able to visit you at your house
Yes.
becomes like a privileged situation. It's not a thoroughfare. It's not just for anybody. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
telling you, single at this point, as a single over on this side is really just so different from single on the other side.
Right, right. I got you. I got you.
All right, now
Wow.
hold a
So
second, please. We're getting some feedback from the chat. Let me just go through the chat
yes,
and see
yes,
what's
please.
happening here. Hold on. I want to welcome Season on Purpose. I thank you so much for coming. I welcome Teacher Peace. Great to have you. All right, and it seems as though they're talking. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Let me see right from the top here. So Teacher P saying she was married and she's single now. So we have two who are single over this side and single over the other side. Because myself and Teacher P are like that. Um, let's see. Make sure when you're getting to know him to ask. Hold on. Where did that go? I see someone that I really like, but I'm taking time to know him. All right, so she's now seeing somebody she likes, but she's taking time to know him. All right, and I don't know what she understands, but I don't know that's something that I said. Teacher, make sure when you are getting to know him, you ask some hard questions. I'd love to know some of the hard questions that you need to ask. Season on purpose, throw out some of those hard questions. Carlin, think about it. If the girl is single now and somebody's trying to get to know her, what are some hard questions that she needs to ask? Hold that thought
Which
while I
level of
still go
single
through the chat.
talking about?
This is single. Don't it don't matter. But this is, I
All
think,
right,
this
good,
came
good, good.
from Tiffany. So this is single after being married. Single after divorce. All right, season purpose is saying, I hear you, sis. I don't know what, I guess she's responding to something that I said. Season on purpose, I definitely will. He is very open, though. He tells me things freely. That's very good because communication is just such an important ingredient. I married for the first time late at 52. Imagine. Congratulations. You know something, season on purpose, I think this is a good time to be married too. Because yeah, I having learned all the things that I have now learned, I think when I do get married the next time, it's going to be a phenomenally wonderful experience. I can't wait. It's going to be a wonderful experience because, first of all, I think it's nice now that I would have had child rearing out of the way, so that all of that is taken care of. I'm never going to walk that path again. So it's just a matter of meeting this wonderful person, whose gaze takes mine and mine takes his, and just have laser focus.
Yeah, and that does exist, doesn't it?
I
You see,
don't know. Tell me, I'm not
I,
married.
why, you know what? I think we spend so much time in the fantasy world that when the real thing hits us,
Hmm.
I don't think we really even have relationship with the person that we're actually seeing. We're having a relationship with a fantasy individual, this fantasy world that is created. And I think it's not just from the woman. I think both men and women and partners, when they're together, they really have read the books, they have watched the movies, they were told how to feel, how to behave. And I think with that, we all just do it, and then after a while it's like time run out. We can't maintain it, and when we can't maintain it now and the real deal start hit us, we're like, where's the fantasy world? So I don't even. All right, so let me put it this way. It's like we get to a point, and so I'm talking about as single. Let's talk as single. As single, you're living your life, you're making your choices and everything. But
Hmm.
as a single individual, you still have some ideas as to what that person should be like.
Right.
You still have that idea as to how they're supposed to walk, what they're supposed to talk, where they're supposed to live. You have that idea as to what they should be able to offer in a relationship.
Hmm.
And these things really and truly are from our own, what we have seen on televisions. I don't know if we have, when you start living it, because even you can talk, Mikey, in a
Hmm.
marriage. So when you're single and you're thinking about how you want it to be and the ideas, and then when you get into the relationship and you're now married, or you find somebody and you're settled down with them, you're like, but because even your own views about yourself change.
Hmm. Oh
It's
yeah.
like, right, so now that I'm not single, there are
Hmm.
certain things that I need to do differently, and you find that you give up some of the things that you used to do because you feel you no longer have the time to do it.
Right.
And as you give up these things, there's another version of you now coming into play that you have never met before, or
Right.
you've never had to interact with, or even shared. You have never ever
Right.
shared this version of you before, and
Right.
now you're sharing it with somebody else. And as light as it may seem, this is a very critical point.
It
I'm going to
is.
say it again.
Yeah.
When you now get settled into a relationship, or you decide that you're moving from single, you know the single version of you, and you know the
Yep.
single version of you very well. And that's your
Yep.
superstar girl. That's your
Uh-huh.
girl. Well, listen, nobody can talk to you because you know you.
Yep.
When you now go into this partnership,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're going to know, you have never been in a space with somebody for so long. You have
Mm-hmm.
never been asked to do or be a certain person. Normally, you're in a conversation when you're single and a male says something that you don't like it, you just shut him down or you say it in whatever way you want to say it, and you
Right,
just say,
but
"Oh, we're
no,
not going there." Now, when you're in a relationship, you're reminded, well, maybe you need to be a little softer, you need to look calmer, you need to
yep.
be a little more we call it respect. Then they say you can't be as aggressive, and that
Mhm.
version of you that you're now pulling on, you don't even know that version.
Oh yes.
And
Oh
so
yes.
this is now a tie back to when you ask me what questions you should be asking. I'm going to be very honest and say, I don't know. Because the truth is, you, when you start getting into relationship, there's another version of you that is coming. And the same thing that's happening to you is the same thing happening to your partner. There's this
Yep.
version of that person that's coming out that we don't know. So it's
Right.
important for us to get to know this version of ourselves.
Oh
And
yeah.
this version of ourselves can scare us
For real.
because all of us who, when we were single, weren't jealous, all of a sudden we seen jealousy. We're like, but I'm not a jealous person.
Person. Uh-huh.
Oh, all of a sudden I'm jealous. The
Uh-huh.
other, your other insecurities that you never had to deal with, because when you're single, you don't have to deal with them. But when you have somebody in your space every day
Hmm.
and they're going to remind you of some past stories, past pains, past conversations that you have not dealt with, that version of you. Talk to me,
Oh
Mike.
yes. Oh
Talk.
yes. And
Isn't that what
something.
happens in a relationship?
Some. It's interesting that you said it's like a fairy tale. At
Mhm.
the start, it's like a fairy tale. It's just because you're so excited, and this brand new life is so different. But it becomes so frightening when after a little while, or after time goes by, you start to realize that the new person that you've become is so different from that other person that you were, and the person that you're married to just, I don't know if you have kind of renamed him or reframed him, but he's not matching up with the frame that you now have, or the frame that you're now expecting. And this is when the hard times start to come.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And the question for me is, as I look at it in terms of marriage, it's we go back. Now the grass just don't seem very green. This is where you're like, but the grass was green. But I say to you, you're now in another season. And just like life, just like the seasons of life, it goes through different seasons and they come and they go. And so that
Right.
green grass now start looking white. If you have snow, is it
Mhm.
snow? Is winter. So when you have
Mhm.
winter, the leaf, everything fall off and nothing
Right.
not growing at that time. And
Hmm.
that's what you experience in your relationship. You experience a time where it feels like everything is stagnant and nothing is growing.
Agree.
But
Yeah.
I think how I am trying to work on it for
Mhm.
myself is to understand that there are seasons, because I think as women we are very quick to jump and say, oh, I give up because
Mhm.
the grass no longer green. Is a green grass I'm marrying to? When I marry, the grass is green. So if the grass is no longer green, then I don't want no non-green
I
grass.
don't understand the assignment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
And
signed up
then
for green grass.
yeah, but then I am learning to understand. But I didn't hard, it's hard
Listen,
because when
it's
I learned
hard.
that conflict exists,
It's
that's the
hard.
other thing, when you
It's
go through
hard.
nice and cute and then conflicts start come up, and you're
Yeah.
like, why are we arguing so much?
Right.
But we never used to argue like this before.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on?
But you see, these are some things that if we as persons entering into relationship had these honest and frank conversation, because I don't think people who are married sometimes are honest and frank. Mikey, if
I
some of
don't
them
get
did tell
you.
you the truth, right? Mikey, tell me
Uh-huh.
the truth. If when you were in the church, somebody did sit you down and say and teach you some things where you experience in marriage,
No, is it
Wait a
truth?
minute.
Because yeah,
Oh, what
I think
would you have got married that early? Did you really?
maybe not. And not only that, I
Yeah.
remember there was one brother who was trying to tell me, like he was trying to say, the guy already has a kid. It's like, why are you barking up that tree? And my whole demeanor was, so if somebody has a kid before marriage, does that mean that that person is to be denied of love and warmth and a real chance of a happy marriage? That was kind of how I looked at it. But then I never studied the implication of what having a kid outside of our relationship, how that could have affected the whole scenario. And I mean, I had some storm and some rough seas. And, I'm thinking that maybe if I had the chance again at that point, maybe that's not a road a road that I would have taken.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And there you have it. I took that road. I took that road. I have my, as I say, I met her when she was one, and
uh-huh,
she came with a marriage. And it's rough. It is rough. It has its challenges. She's now 20 years old, and I give thanks. I've learned many, many lessons. But I think, but what I want to say here is that I think we miss something very critical. You see that thing called relationship and communication,
hmm,
and understanding that you're a part of the problem. Sometimes we sit out and we think that we are the solution, but the way
exactly.
we are behaving, we are creating the problems in our
Problem.
relationship
Oh
too.
yes, oh
And I
yes,
think and I think that's a part of it, that a lot of women have not learned to understand that the truth is you're part of the problem.
yeah. And
We
something,
Go
Carly,
ahead.
the other thing is, I think sometimes when we are kind of like in church,
Mm-hmm.
we're almost steered to think that as long as this person is a Christian, the possibility exists that you can coexist and the marriage will work. And I think it's just
Mm.
not, I mean, I know that both parties need to kind of like be on the same page spiritually, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's not the only basis for success. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, um, I'm not so sure if I understood that heading in. It just
Yeah,
I kind of felt that once both of us were loving the Lord, it was definitely going to be a match made in heaven. That is
and it's not.
something that is not true.
Remember we talk about the fantasy world? So there's also the fantasy, yeah, there's also the fantasy world around Christianity
It's
and
not
religion
true.
and how we see things. So
Yeah.
it's just so if I was to give an advice to anybody right now, I would say to you, the grass is green only if you water it. The truth is
Yeah,
everything.
and I'm not gonna lie to you too. Sometimes you
Yeah.
water
You
it
have to
and
work.
water it and water it and
What
water
the
it.
fantasy world
God.
has not
No,
is not
oh
growing.
God, no.
It's not your
Sometimes,
season.
well,
You
there you
also
go.
have to understand it's not, it's you're watering the wrong season. It's not the season for watering. And I can't tell people what to do and how to do it. But you have to know when to water. Everybody's situation is different. So even if, and I'd say, share and talk about what's happening in your
All
relationship,
right.
as or even being single. But always remember that your rule and how you are doing it is not necessarily going to work for everybody, because we all have our
Yeah.
own situation, we all have our own support system. But
Oh yeah.
that I find that as women, if I was to
Uh-huh.
tell you anything from a female perspective, because I can't speak from a
Hmm.
male perspective, because I kid you not, sometimes I truly do not understand. But what I can say from a female perspective is I think a lot of times we need to figure out if we are the problem or we are the solution. If
Yeah.
how we're
That's
approaching the matter is creating the problem, or if
or
we're reducing the problem. And I
right.
think that is for me. I think all women need to stop and think a little more. We think a lot about a lot of things, but I
Mhm.
don't think we stop and understand that some of the things that's happening in our relationship, it's really coming back to our own insecurities.
Oh yeah.
It's our own fears. And so even when we communicate something to our partner, the way we communicate to it sometimes just not make no sense or just not going to work either.
Right.
Because we are not, it's not, sometimes it's not even our partner we're talking to. We're really and truly talking to somebody else who have hurt us, some other concerns, are we talking to them about some past stories that we have in our
Hmm.
heads.
That's happened too.
And I'd say as women, I think that's where we can become stronger as women. We need to
Yes.
start thinking every time something come up, am I adding to the problem? Am I a creator of the problem? Or am I
My
about
part
the solution?
solution. All right, pause again, Carlene, because
Yeah.
we had Michelle from the Philippines come in. Welcome, Michelle. And the chat is really being very interactive, but it's like I'm trying to say, just trying to
Mikey,
see
get up in the
what
chat.
people
Get
are
up in the
saying.
chat, Mikey. Come on,
Yes,
Mikey.
I'm getting there. Yeah, give me a chance here, girl, to teach a piece and make sure when
I
you're
wish I
getting
could
to
help
know him,
you.
you ask him some hard questions. All right. I definitely will. He is open and he tells me freely. I think we met that bit already. So
Yes, we did
season
that one.
purpose thinks you should find out a little bit about his credit history.
Ah,
Does he want to be married? Let's see. I thought I saw some good little. Let's see what else season on purpose is saying. You're welcome. Life just started at 63. Okay. Oh, yeah, I made the chat go so fast. I think the chat is mostly talking to, they're greeting each other. I don't see anybody really. Please remember to hit the like button. Thank you so much, Teacher P. That's very nice of you. Right. Doreen is saying ups and downs. So she's saying, I guess, the roller coaster effect that. But sometimes you are faced with, know that we're married. How very alike are we? And then once upon a
mhm.
time, people used to say alike, uh, um, opposites
Like a
attract,
truck. Yes.
opposites attract. But how really true is that though?
Yeah, you see, these are, I tell you again now, there are some sayings that we have that we need to just kind of leave them alone as sayings. There are just things that we have used to guide our lives, and as I said, I try to think outside the box. And some of the things that we have been using are keeping us in a box, and the box is not helping us to have healthy relationships.
It's for real.
And I think that's what it is. Sometimes you even stop and you think and you're like, sometimes when you hear how men are and how women are, you're like, so are they supposed to be together? If they're so different, if one is so emotional and one is so logical, and one likes this and one likes this, and when you look at gender norms, one's supposed to work this way and one's supposed to work this way. I'm like, so where is that guideline when you put them together, how they should work together?
Right.
Because
Teacher
we're not
P
getting that.
saying, so true, Mikey. Being a part of the church doesn't make the person a good husband or wife. This is true. Yep, sometimes you water it and you water it, it's still dry down.
Oh yes, as I say, you must
Oh my
also know
goodness.
your grass dead. When your grass no longer exists, you need to know the difference. Yes,
Oh my
you need to
God.
know the grass is
Welcome,
dead.
Filipina Raquel de los Santos. It's great to have you. Oh my goodness. Good evening, host and co-host, and everyone in the chat. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Ask him also, how does he or she, how he treats his mother? Does he have anger issues? Previous legal issues? Oh my goodness, no. And you really have to start asking you the questions.
But
I
then
had to laugh.
you can ask me the question and I answer it and tell you exactly what you want to hear. You know that too. So you can ask me, oh no, I treat my mother very well. I'm a very, oh no, 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 no. So you can ask the questions and you get the right answers.
Oh my goodness! No,
So
I
it's
had like
then, how do you now deal with that after you get the answers, or are you hearing what you want to hear? Because
right,
you might go around. So it really means that you really should be spending time with the person, with
oh
their
yes,
friends, spend time with the person, with their family.
mm-hmm.
Because no matter what, you're going to hear the stories, you're going to hear the things popping up in those conversations when you're among the friend and when you're among the family. And then you get a better idea.
Oh my goodness! I had a conversation the other day. This guy gave me a call, so we started talking. He asked me if I was from this particular area. I asked him. I said yes. I asked him which area he was from. He said what area he was from. So we're talking a little bit somewhere now, and I think he asked me if I had kids. So yes, I had kids. Do you have kids? Yes, kids. So I said, okay. So what do you do? Money put up bricks. It's like the guy said, well,
Wow. Why?
it's not an it's like it's not an interview. It's like, I mean, you don't have to hear everything on the same. So I said, oh, but it's weird how I could have heard every other thing else. Why now has this become a little
Yeah.
secret right away? So just like you said,
Hmm.
the pieces of information that they want to bring forward, it's kind of like what they will bring forward.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's, oh my goodness.
Hmm.
But you have to, I guess you still have to
Yeah.
ask, and for anybody out there, it's really, when you're starting the getting to know process, it's really a series of interviews. And
Yeah.
you really
Yeah.
have to,
But but
yeah.
but 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 what you say, the mistake we make also, Mikey, is that we
Mhm.
believe that they get into no finish. It never ends.
No, no, it never ends. It never ends. As a matter of fact, you
It
scratch the surface. You scratch, because it
it
doesn't matter how
never
long.
ends.
It doesn't matter how long you date. You're
Yeah.
going to get some
Yeah.
surprises.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to
And
have some surprises.
no matter how long you're in the relationship with your
Yeah,
partner,
yeah,
they're going to, people evolve, things change. It's just that, boy,
yeah.
it's hard to deal with the change sometimes. It's hard to
It's
just
hard to
say
do it.
this is what it is, and then to now have the person, and also remembering that you're changing as well,
Right,
and to remember that while you're changing, you're asking the person to accept you as with your change.
right,
So while
right.
that person is changing, are you also learning to
Willing
accept
to
that
accept.
person?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It complicated
It's it's,
bad.
it's terrible. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And I don't like when we take it so lightly. And that's the thing, the fantasy world thing make it seem so hairy fear. I'm like, oh, one, press the
No,
one
it's
and
it's
it's
not
done, and
it's
it's
not
not.
easy to live with somebody else.
It's not.
And
It's not.
I don't know if it's a case of saying the grass is greener outside, because now that I'm not married, I think if I compare the two sides, I prefer being married.
There you
So
go.
yeah, I think I do like, I like to share my space with somebody. It's just a very intimate, just, it's a wonderful thing.
But you see,
And just
I
go
like where
ahead.
you raise that word intimate. You know, one of the things that get lost sometimes in relationship, and when you, after a while and you've been with somebody long,
Hmm.
I would like somebody to really and truly figure out where intimacy goes. What happened with intimacy? Stop it. Stop, Mikey, stop
I want
laughing.
I
What
want to figure out some
happened?
fairy tale.
What happened? I'm like, what happened there?
But you
Is
know
it that it was
something?
never? I don't know. If do you ever think that the fantasy world never really included intimacy? It included sex, but then intimacy at the
Intimacy.
emotional level,
Yeah, it's
intimacy at other physical level outside
levels.
of sex. Where is that connect? Is like,
Yeah,
I don't know, because
yeah.
I find if you ask everyone on this chat
Hmm.
if they've gone through a relationship, and when it starts falling off, they might tell you It's when intimacy, it just, that connection just starts going somewhere else. It just
And you just
starts
wonder.
fading. And I think again, what we don't understand is, like everything in relationship, you have to work on
You have
it.
to work on
But
it.
just like how you have to water, you have to
Right.
water
Water. That
intimacy,
too. Yes.
but we don't.
We don't. It's the truth.
No,
And we
no
sometimes
fantasy
take
world teach us that.
right. And so this is why I tell you now, every time a girlfriend of mine had a pole dancer on her live one evening, and I said, I wonder if anybody thought I was crazy. I said, I think I would invest a little in a pole. And
You
maybe
got
they
to
don't
think
really.
outside the box, eh?
You have to think outside the box because you know something. That's what it is. I think at this point, having learned so much, you really understand that because it's such hard work. As much that you can do to make this thing exciting and keep the fire going, you have to. You have to. You have
All
to.
right. So suppose you're doing it, but the other person not doing it.
Well, there you go
Suppose
now.
you're
Then.
not, but remember, but
Mhm.
remember, it's not that the other person don't want it. It's like the way how we have even socialized, really, our socialization or relationship is that the woman has to do quite a little more work.
Work. Yeah.
She has to make sure she's the sexy one. She has to
Yeah.
make sure she put on
Yeah.
the different things. Them she has to
Mhm.
present the different things, the ideas to go out and do things. She's the one making sure that you make sure so we can go somewhere for a weekend, or we have the dinner, or we have the movie night.
When it get to
So
this point, now we want to switch roles now and get back to the single lane because it really
because
does. At this point, it does seem as though the single is the grass is a little green over there. Because honestly,
yeah,
it
it's a
becomes such
lot
a
of work.
whole host of responsibility for the woman, and the
Yeah,
man really sometimes seems as though he really expects so much.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, because
yeah,
it's always something, and I think that's the point maybe where I got to, where my hands dropped and I was so tired. I was like I was really pushing a boulder up a hill, and that boulder was rolling back down to me, and I said, okay, enough is enough. I'm done.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that sounds like our person in the chat who said, what is it that you just keep watering and watering and nothing? And that is the thing, and that there it is. So I'm glad that the person in the chat mentioned it, because that's where it is. It's like you keep pouring on and saying, okay, this is what you say, like, I'll
Right,
do this, I'll do this, but it's not coming back at
it's
you.
not coming back. It's not
You
coming
are not getting that, okay, that nice surprise. One day just come home and you just see some surprise, I just thought of you and say I'll buy you this, like how you are busy thinking about the person and doing those extra things, and then you're like,
We like how me trying to get the pole.
exactly. So it's
Teacher
like,
B said,
as I say, I
no,
don't know,
hold on,
I'm
Carly.
here, yeah.
1 second. Teacher P said, it's no fun when the lady's initiating everything in a relationship. It's no fun. It's a
No
dry, it's
fun.
no fun.
Yeah,
It's no
yeah,
fun. We need to no something. Here's what I think is missing sometimes. We like maybe just like everything else, you need a refresher course.
yeah,
So couples need to take some refresher courses, some kind of retreat, something, so that you get
yeah,
back to
yeah,
basics every once in a
yeah,
while, because you lose sight of it, and then this is when the grass becomes greener somewhere else.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my goodness
Yeah,
gracious, yeah.
because at some point in time, you're like, because at some point somebody else is doing the things that you want the other person to do, and
To
you're like,
do,
and it
yeah.
goes both
Yeah,
ways.
and
It
it goes
goes
both
both
ways. It
ways.
goes
It's
both
like
ways. It goes
it's
both
like you
ways.
complain that you're not getting this
Yeah.
and you're not in this.
In
Stop
that.
and think about it.
Yeah.
You're not giving it either. So it's not like anybody giving anything. You're not getting something that you're not even giving. And you're complaining. How can you complain about something that you're not even giving?
Oh
And
my
I
goodness, we
said
have
this
to
to say, honestly, I said this to say that females do it, males do it. So there's
do
no
it.
innocent party in this conversation. I want us to understand that with relationship, none of them are innocent. The
No,
grass are dead because the two of them are water it. And I like,
exactly.
and if you're watering the grass,
Either that or the
and
watering pan have hole.
yeah,
You need a new watering
or the
pan or you need
soil
a
that
new.
the grass did plant in to begin with is
Ah,
not
no,
even
you're
the right
touching a
soil
story.
that you're using. The
Because if it's not on the
soil
right
that you
soil, you
even
know,
have, yeah,
Jesus, set
yeah,
speed.
yeah, a bare
Yeah,
stone on a a bare
yes,
stone
stone and
on
all
it,
that.
the grass.
Yeah, you
So
get
all
something.
you're pouring
It
the
can't
water,
work.
it's gonna die.
Can't work.
Yeah.
Can't work. So it is the
You know
foundation.
another
It is the
thing.
foundation.
You know another thing though.
Hmm.
This is an interesting thing. Women, and I'm speaking to my women. And I could be very wrong. I could be very wrong, but I've been doing some investigation, and what I find is that when a man has decided that he has settled down,
Uh-huh.
no matter what he's doing, you see that woman is the one
Hmm.
that he settled down with. And in his head, there is nothing in his head that says I am leaving this woman. Even if he has a whole heap of other people in the relationship,
Uh-huh.
even if him not doing what he's supposed to do, in his head, he has
Him
already
set
made
it
his
down.
choice, and this is
Uh-huh.
it. And him taking it with everything else. Now, this is different with a woman, though. I've found, and I could be wrong, in the chat, talk to me, please. I have found that as women, when we say we settle down, it's like anything that happens, it's never like this is it for us. We're like, I can't take this anymore, I'm done. We're quicker to say we're done and we're moving on.
You think it's a woman thing?
I don't know if it's a woman thing, but I find that I don't know. I find that we're quicker to say we're
You
done.
have a point there, you know. You have a point there because you know something. There's somebody that I talk to, and I think I've known this guy for maybe 10 years now. He's with the same woman, and he said, "I'm not marrying her," but he's been with her.
And he's not leaving her.
No. But it's like you said, it seems as though in his mind he has made up his mind that I'll stay with you, but I'm not marrying you.
So in other words, he's not thinking of
So
settle
it would be up to you.
thinking that one to settle.
Eh, we break it up, Carly. I don't know what's happening
However,
there. Hmm.
for all right, I think we're lost and we're back now though.
Uh-huh.
Our person's back on the live.
Yeah, the people are here.
But I think for us though is that as women, I think that's something that we need to check. Check it, Mikey, and all the women on the chat
No, but
and
it's the
males
truth
there on
though.
the
Let me
chat
tell
and
you
there,
what it is.
Karlene, Mikey.
Let me tell you what I think that is though, Carlene. And
Mm.
let me pause to welcome Stalker Mom Abby. Welcome, Abby. Good to have you. Teacher P says if I will move on if the man is keeping up foolishness.
But guess what? But
Right.
guess
And
what? The man,
season
but hold on, the man will not move on. But the man will not move on if the woman keep up foolishness. Check it, man.
no.
Check it.
No, no,
Check
no, no,
it.
no, no. But that's the truth. But let me tell
He
you what it
can't
is.
move on if the woman keep up foolishness. He
Listen to
must stay.
me. That's what I try to show you. But I think it's a lot of things. I think sometimes maybe they're satisfied. They seem not to be. I don't know, baby, because it's the same thing. I kind of said to him,
You're
you.
confused.
I'm telling you, would you just stay there in that 10 years? He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. But
He's
he's
not
made his
going
mind up,
anywhere.
not marrying her. It's
But
done.
but but listen the mindset. This is what I want us to think about though. Now that's a thought that we're doing.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. But remember, you see
Mm-hmm.
his mindset knowing that he's not going anywhere is
Mm-hmm.
different. He responds to the woman different. than the woman who has a mindset that I will take my bag and pack
And
and
leave.
leave.
Yeah.
Whether we leave or not is another story. But when you have a mindset of I can get up anytime and walk away, is it that we don't work hard enough to
No,
make
but
the
silly, but
relationship
I'm
work
trying to say,
because we have that in the back of our mind? So
no, I
we don't
think,
do the extra work that need to be done.
no. Let me tell you what
Or
it
it have
is,
to be.
Carly.
Mhm.
Carly, let me tell you what it is. I think men can zone out. They're totally zoned out. And if you're still willing to, like, yeah, if you're still a part of the bed life, they can still enjoy it, and they're still zoned out, and that's
So
it.
should we
I think
start zoning out then? Should we
well, that's
start
what it
zoning
is.
out?
Yeah, I think they can zone out. Uh-huh. You're and the things that you are saying to them that you think could make the marriage a little spicier, they think you're miserable, and they think you are a nagging little woman and you need to go and sit yourself down on a soft seat. I'm telling you. I think for some reason they can zone out,
Hmm.
and they're not even unhappy. It is the
No, they're
woman
not.
who's, because like her
No,
that
they're
kind of.
not. I don't think they're not unhappy. As you say, I think they really do zone out. I think that's what they do. I
Yeah,
don't
they
think they're
zone
not
out.
unhappy. I think they're zone out and they and I think this is why, because in their head they're not going anywhere. This is it for them.
Yep.
And I think when that is so you see that if you have two people in a relationship where one is thinking, if this shit continues, excuse my language, I'm gonna move on.
Hmm.
And there's the other one that she can continue with all the stuff she want to do. She not getting
I'm
rid of
not
me.
going anywhere.
So you find that, yeah, no, I think that we're onto something, but I confused though.
But it's true though.
I think that is something that we need to really break down
Yeah.
and
I
get
think a
men
man can
onto the
live with
I
a
think your next
broken
question
down
to that
situation for
girl,
years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Women
He's
will do it.
married.
Listen. But Mikey, women will do
Mhm.
it, but they will complain throughout the times and say that they're leaving. A
Right.
man will not complain and say he's leaving. Him just live with it. And
Yeah.
I think that his
Crazy.
approach to the relationship is going to be totally different than the woman's approach. So the woman
Mhm.
can be miserable and nagging,
Uh-huh.
while the man is not going to be miserable and nagging, and he might even live a little longer than she.
Yeah, he's definitely going to live longer than her.
And then when she leaves, he will
I
also
think they
find somebody
I
and
just
get
think they have
married.
the capacity to live with a broken down situation.
And if that's the case, and then that is what we come back to. And so as we go back, single, married, divorce, I think at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. It's all about you trying to figure out how your different version, how you
I don't
work
like
with your
this.
different versions. Because as you say, the grass no greener
I agree
nowhere.
no way.
Because you know the truth is you. Anywhere the grass is, and one thing consistent with it is you. Whether they are single, are you there? Whether the grass they are married, it's you. Sorry for those persons who are not
It's
from
you.
Jamaica. Let me go back and take it back from my patois. But whether you are in the single space, it's you that's there. Whether you're married,
Yep.
it's you that's there. Whether you're divorced, it's you that's there. And I like how Mike remind us that there is single after divorce.
Oh yes.
What is constant in all these different scenarios? It's you.
It's you.
It's
Yep.
you. It's your grass. The
Yep.
grass can be greener, but you have to
Yep.
remember that one, what did we put the grass to grow in? What soil is the
Or
grass growing in?
going in.
We
Yeah.
also must remember that there are seasons. There's
Right. And
seasons.
their seasons. Yeah.
Every relationship goes through a season, and I think sometimes when it goes through the dry season, we
Hmm.
get and the winter season, the cold season, because there's a cold time in a relationship. There's a
Right.
time when the relationship feels cold.
Yeah.
You're in a relationship with somebody and you can feel the ice in that relationship.
Yep.
Coldness from both ends. It's not, and I keep saying, let's not think that we're innocent from both ends. So there are
No.
seasons. And
None of
so
us.
during this season, we
Yep.
need to remember that there are seasons, and it's all about communication.
It's
We
all about
need to be able
communication.
to communicate with our partner. Say, this is the season we're going through.
Oh yeah.
What do we need to do? What warmth we need to put into this thing to
Mm-hmm.
reduce the coldness or to help us to survive through the
Be
coldness.
cold. Yep.
And we have to remember it's seasons. So the
Seasons.
grass is greener. It depends on your perspective.
It depends on your
I
person.
say, wherever you are, make the grass green. Work
And
on it.
on that note,
On that note, make the grass green and
let the
know
grass
your
green.
seasons.
Know your
Know when
season.
it's time to uproot and replant.
Uh huh.
Always remember when it's springtime, but know when it's time to replant. And as one of our person in the chat said, yeah, there are times when you water and really just don't need to water. It depends on
There
the
you go.
season. Maybe the
Depends on the
time that
season.
you're watering is not the time to water the relationship. It's
Yeah.
something else the relationship needs.
Yeah.
So for more details on all of that, is a one-on-one talk, a group chat, support
Yeah.
group system. We just need to be there.
Something
All we're doing tonight is just kind of throwing things out
out.
for you to
Uh-huh.
understand that there is support,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's just how you see it. But we can help
Right.
each other though.
Oh
The
yeah.
grass green, the grass green, the grass
Yeah.
is green.
Right. And depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, man, the grass is green.
In any of the seasons or in any of
In
the
any of the
arenas.
seasons, the grass is green. The grass
Oh,
is very
Caroline,
much
time
green.
flies when we're having fun. It was really
Yes,
good to have
yes.
you. The hour went by so very quickly. We had really such a very, very supportive chat this afternoon. So I want to thank you so much, all of my guests. Thank you, Filipina, Raquel, for coming in just this minute. Doreen Hombe, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tita P. I thank you so much for being with me right from the start. So you caught me this evening, you caught me at the right time, Teacher P.
Teacher
Sometimes that
P said
relationship is
sometimes the
dead.
relationship is
It's
dead.
dead
You
just to
just
bury
have
it.
to bury it. And
And
that's
that's true
true.
too.
There's a
And that's
time
true
for
too.
growth and there's a
And there's a
time
time.
for, yes, burial. No problem.
Yes,
True.
right. And then, but here's what this is now. Once you get to the end and you realize that this was what it was, you don't have to be dry and and parched and think that life has gone. You learn from whatever mistakes you made. You learn from the good things that you did, and you put another package together. And man, you put yourself on the market again. And life is good. Life is good. What are you gonna do? Life is good.
Life is
Oh
what you
my God,
make it.
life is
Life
good.
is good. You
Life's
just
what you
gotta
make.
do
Yeah,
you.
you have to
You
do
gotta
you.
do you. At the end of the day,
Right,
it's one life you gotta live. One life to live, live it in peace. At
right.
the end of the day, the leaves will fall off
Oh
and they
yes.
will go back.
Oh
I,
yes.
I, I think this season thing is something that we need to remember.
Right. I
So
mean,
next time
one
you're thinking about it, people, think about which season you're
season
in.
you're in.
And not just your relationship, even your own personal life,
Oh
your
yeah.
own growth. What season are you going through? And remember, the seasons come and they grow. They don't come this year and they don't come back next year. Notice how the season go. They come and they go. They go
Go.
around. So you have many winters, many
Oh
autumns,
yes. Oh
many
yes.
summers, and many
Yeah.
springs.
Pardon.
So you have to prepare yourself for them.
It was nice to have
Mikey,
you. Just so nice to
yes,
have you. So nice to have
I
you.
had fun. I
I
had
enjoyed
fun.
myself immensely. I hope you enjoyed yourself in the chat, guys. We try to really keep up with you, but I'm telling you, you were phenomenal this evening. I had so much interaction from the chat. I thank you so much, Carl. I thank you so much for coming. I thank you so much for coming. We learned a lot. And
Yep.
guys, listen, irrespective of where you are, just kind of duality evaluation, just kind of see what's going on with you. If you're not a part of the solution, then you might very well be a part of the problem. So figure that out as well.
Yeah, and figure out your season. Figure out your season personally, your personal life season, your career season, your financial season. Hey, your relationship. We all have seasons.
There
Everything
you
go through a
go.
season.
All right, guys. So, parting is such sweet sour. We thank you so much, Karlene. But we're
Pleasure.
gonna close the show. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, chat. I hope you got a chance to interact and to meet with each other. And if there's anybody who is here who has not yet subscribed to Mikey Laughs, please do so. Um, come back next Sunday. I promise to give you another enchanting guest. Thank you so much, Karlene. Mwah.
And
So until
listen,
next
throw
week.
it up, Mikey. Mikey, we can't back these things and don't give people a chance. We
Huh?
can't be doing this and don't give people a chance. Let them know how they can link up to hear more about this topic if they're curious, if they want to understand some more, because people need this type of support.
Okay.
So
So you
can
want
they
to
link you? Is there a link that they can link up to find out more? Or if somebody wants some individual conversation or group conversation to help them as they
sure.
go through what they're going through?
Sure. Well, you know how to catch me on Instagram, and then you want to talk about a little bit about your relationship show. You want to add
Right.
that?
So what I've been doing is, yeah, I'm actually a part of a brand. I choose me brand, which is pretty much helping persons to understand that at the end of the day, if you don't choose you, you can't choose anybody else. If you
That's
don't even
true.
know how to treat you, you can't treat anybody else good. So that's what my drive has been, and it has been a struggle. Don't think I'm perfect. I have some serious issues, but what is awesome about it is that I'm willing to work on me. So I am also on Instagram. Mikey can put it. I'll give Mikey the information so that she can share it with this live.
That.
Pretty much
Uh-huh.
that you can link me, DM me, and let me know. I'm on Facebook as well, and I'm on Instagram. So I'm here to help. We can do this together. It's all
We can
about
do this.
us
We
figuring
definitely
it
can
out together.
together.
All right. So
All right,
thanks a
guys.
lot.
Love you loads. Thank you, Carlin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I guess they get a little bit of broth this evening because we came on a little bit later. But I thank you for being a
Mhm.
wonderful chat. I thank you for all of interaction. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And like Carlin says, if anybody has any coping issues and they want to throw anything out to us, let me know. I'm on Instagram. I'm here. Some of you have my numbers. I'm on Facebook as well. It's the same Mikey Mitchell. All right. Well, thank you so very much. I know that you're going to be missing me, but it's just until next week, Sunday afternoon. Oh my good. So, Carlene, what good? We can talk.
Yes,
I'll
my
probably
love.
call you a little bit after I close the
Yeah,
show.
man. We will talk as usual.
All right, darling. Thank you so very
Thumbs
much.
up. All right, then. Bye bye.
Woo. All right, guys. So, thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. 6 million in the house. I absolutely thank you. Ah, what an evening. So until next Sunday afternoon, this is Mike and I'm closing out. It was nice for you to be here. I look forward to being with you next week, Sunday afternoon. Mwah.